Thank you, Dew Journal, for posing this question. The question is, do we have super basins in India? The answer is simple. It's yes, and it is no. It is no because sensu stricto, it doesn't qualify the definition. But yes, if you really pursue it with dogged manner, maybe one day we may have a super basin or maybe more than one. Now, getting back to the basics, we go back to the definition and ask, what is it? According to Friedland and Stark, it is a sedimentary basin which has produced over 5 billion barrels of oil equivalent, and it has the capacity to produce 5 more billion barrels of oil equivalent, or having 5 billion barrels oil remaining recoverable. Now, what are these kind of basins? These are basins which are very rich in terms of organic matter, has more than one petroleum system, has got a thick sedimentary pile, have got stacks of reservoirs, and they have got the oil which has reached a peak oil position, and they have the markets and infrastructure nearby, and of course a bit of high pressure adds to it. In terms of world examples, the names that come immediately are the Gulf of Mexico, the Central Arabian Basin, and of course the Permian Basin in the US. Now, coming to Indian basins, let us see what are the kind of Indian basins. The Indian basins are basically of 4 types. They are the Proterozoic basins, which are essentially sag basins, and like Ganga and Vindhyan. And these basins, have not much has been explored. There's plenty left to be explored, and what we can do is possibly look into the analogs. We can look into the analogs from, say, the Australian basins like your Beetaloo or the MacArthur. The next type of basins are the Permian Indian basins, the coal-bearing basins along the Narmada Son lineament and along the Godavari lineament and Mahanadi Graben. These basins have they got series of these coal fields and organic rich shales above and below it. The sedimentary pile of these basins are 2.5 kilometers. The coal has been measured and understood up to 1200 meters by measuring the resource base by the GSI. But how much coal and how much shale, good shale stuff is there between 1200 meters to 2.5 kilometers in these half-graben kind of situations are still yet to be known. So there's plenty of scope vertically to do good stuff in these basins. Now, coming to the Mesozoic Indian basins, we all know that the Jurassic Cretaceous source rocks, they are the best source rocks in the world, and we have ensured production of huge amount of oil and gas throughout the world, particularly along the Tithian realm. In the Indian context, these Jurassic Cretaceous basins are all pericratonic rifts on the edge of the eastern and western side of the Indian continent, on the edge of the ocean. And 4 or 5 basins which come to mind are the Bombay offshore deep water, the Krishna Godavari deep water, we have the Kutch on land, the Deccan Sinaclize, and of course a bit of Cambay. Now, the Bombay offshore basin, although we have got giant oil field in the tertiary shelf, what is still remaining, there is a huge pile of Mesozoic section as seen from the regional seismic profiles that have been shot, and they have a thick Deccan trap cover. Plenty of scope is there to get big stuff out there just beneath the Bombay offshore. The Krishna Godavari deep water, the mantra lies in trying to understand the channel systems and the lobe systems properly by understanding the sedimentology and the depositional model properly. In Kutch on land, there is a huge thickness of Cretaceous and Jurassic section which remains to be explored. So plenty of scope is there. We can do I'll have a good look at this. Deccan Sinaclize is another onshore basin with a massive Mesozoic section with a thick Deccan trap cover. very little is known about this. And in Cambay, which is a prolific producing basin, do you think that all the oil and gas that we are getting has come from the same petroleum systems between the Eocene and Tertiary times? Could there be a Mesozoic petroleum system hiding below which is also contributing to the kitty? These are the questions that come to mind. And in case of the Tertiary section, the Assam Arakan Petroleum Province has got a beautiful four-land shelf, which are a series of producing structures. And adjacent to it on the northern side, you have the Four Deep, the North Bank, and on the southern side, you have the Shupian Belt. And other series of thrust belts are there. Plenty of scope is there in these four deeps to do. In addition, in the Assam Arakan area, you've got a shale known as the Disang Shale, which is around 3,000 meters thick, and plenty of scope is there to explore this shale. We never know that this could be the major source for a shale gas potential in the area. Now coming to another convergent margin basin like the Andaman Basin. In the Paleogene times, the subduction zone in the Andaman Basin is very, very sand rich. There's organic material there. And there's a huge scopes all along the arc chain parallel to the plate boundary where exploration still awaits us. Now these are some of the pointers that I was giving. This is not everything that we could chase. There could be something completely different. The mantra is think completely out of the box and have a brainstorming session, come up with ideas and take it ahead. The point is, I know that this is very, very tough, very, very tough. But if there is an endeavor to look for something big, one day we will make it. One day we will make it. The day is not very far off. I think somebody somewhere will push up the ante. I am sure they will. And thank you, Mr. Arun Singhal, for asking this pertinent question. Let us think differently. Let us think big. We're going to get big stuff out there. Giant discoveries, giant plays, if not super basin or two. Thank you very much.